You pay more, right? Exactly, exactly. All right, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Live with Renay. Today, we are going to be talking about how to build and create multiple streams of income. Today, I have with me Coach K of MaxFit LLC. I have Kevin Warren, and I have Shirley Green with me. So let's get right into it. And if you have questions, put them in the chat. We're taking questions all day today. So this is going to be a really good one. So, Coach K, I'm going to start with you. So and it's funny because we were laughing because we were just talking about how all of us pivoted during COVID, and I'll go back to that story in a minute. So your main gig is fitness training,
Yes,
right?
Yes,
okay. So can you tell us what is really your bread and butter, and how do you earn more income? Like, what are your other streams of income?
So first and foremost, I'm a personal trainer and a fitness coach, and I also help athletes perform better. So certified conditioning specialist. That's kind of my first bread and butter, and then I use the income from there to be able to invest into other to invest in other things to acquire more streams of income. So investing has really been my next or biggest way of bringing in extra income during COVID, because I had more time to sit down and really understand the proper way to invest. Before, I would just buy stocks, kind of buy and hold, or buy certain cryptocurrencies and just kind of buy and hold. But now I've created more strategies to be able to bring in passive income on a week-to-week or month-to-month basis. And I've used that money to also complement with the money that I bring in from my training business. And now I'm able to bring more income overall. And I think that's what we all should be trying to do during this time. Any extra money or monies that you acquire from your main gig, you should be trying to find different ways to make each one of those dollars work for you and work to bring you more money. So I have this creed that I say, for every dollar, I want every one of my dollars to bring me $3. That's just something that I think about. Like, so my money has to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
They're like little workers, right? They're like,
yep.
All right, you go out, you give me 3. You go out, you give me 3. You go out, you give me 3. And if I can do that on a consistent basis, then I'm always generating more income and bringing in more to be able to take care of my family and my responsibilities. And as my shirt says, generational wealth starts with me. So I really take that. I take that mantra to heart, because as African Americans in this country, it's something that we really, 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 really need to think about moving forward. And I think it's the only way for us to get out of the situation that we're currently in.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. When did you realize that you had to create this financial and generational like wealth and build this legacy for your children?
So 2007, 2008 economic downturn. I think everybody knows what happened there with the housing crisis and the banks, and a lot of people lost a lot of their money. Some people lost all, some people lost half, some people went bankrupt. So as an entrepreneur, a.k.a. entrepreneur, I said, how can I find a way to bring in more income? How can I pivot to be able to do something else to acquire more money? And I really sat there and started thinking, like, I have to find another way to do this, because I mean, I had a full roster of clientele, and then all of a sudden, week by week, clientele just dropped off, and I understood, because it was like, one session, 2 sessions became 2, 2 became 1, 1 became none. And when you have 25 plus clients, and then you have 15, and then you have 10, and you're like, okay, something has to give. So that was my first time of really understanding that the money that you bring in, if you don't save it or put it away or have it working for you, when times like economic downturn happens, where do you pull in money? I'm not a trusting guy, so I don't have someone that can say, hey, here's some money. That holds you down till later on. So I had to create that for myself. And that got me really thinking, okay, what's the next step? How do I do this? And investing is the only way that I saw to be able to kind of climb out of that hole that I was in.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how tragedy can sometimes, in the immediate, it looks like it could be devastating. Mm-hmm. But if we just sit with our thoughts sometimes, and we plan and we look at what's available and the resources we have around us, how we can build something that turns into creating generational wealth and, understanding strategies to make money. And the one thing I always say is, I say it, but the saying that goes, scared money doesn't make money. So I've never been scared to invest in something because you're going to make some, you're going to lose some. But the great thing is once you have the footprint on how to make it, you can make it again. Yes. I think my journey to entrepreneurship started right after I had Raquel. Most people know my story. I broke my leg. I was home for 2 years, not working. I've always been a good saver. So I had saved up enough money, but I still, after 2 years, that little stock, and I was only 25. Like, it wasn't like I had been, working for 100,000 years. I had literally worked from the time I was 16 and had only had my first job out of college. So it wasn't, but I had saved up, I had about $50,000 saved up, which isn't bad for someone who's 25. And so I sat with me and my cast from my hip to my ankle and Raquel next to me. And I just started researching and looking at, what are things that I could do to make money sitting in this bed, because I couldn't go out and do anything. And I ended up starting this little designer trading card business where I would make trading cards for people. They look like fancy business cards for sports teams and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I had a vendor. It was called Rocky Vending, a vending machine company. So, just learning how to bring in that extra money during times of crisis. Now, my mom has always she's really, really good with money as well. So, understanding long-term investments. I started dabbling in the stock market pretty young as well. So, those are some good starts to trying to build additional streams of income. Let's talk about, actually, Kevin, I'm going to go to you. And then, Kay, I'm going to come back to you, and we're going to talk about this crypto and some other things. So, Kevin, tell us a little bit about you're a real estate investor. Let's talk a little bit about real estate investing. What drew you to that? Why did you want to get into real estate investing as a way to earn additional income?
Well, I have always been interested in real estate. Long story short, when I was young, I didn't go outside until this old house went off, and I didn't understand until I got older that my passion was real estate development. But when I found out that people always need somewhere to live, so I started with tax liens. So I started researching tax liens. So I got into that. You buy a tax lien, and then once you get the house, you can either foreclose on it, or you can get money back from when they redeem it. So that's how I got started. But then, as you said, it was like just passive income. You're constantly getting rent because people need places to live, or you can just now you can flip it, or you can buy it whole. So it's just I have always loved real estate, every part of real estate, and it is different parts of real estate that you can always get into. So I just love every part of real estate.
Good. Yeah. Awesome. I guess I'm newer to the real estate game, probably within the last maybe 10 years. And I think that my attraction to it was I love doing interior design. So being able to go in and tear something up and put it back together and make it look pretty was the appeal for me. Plus, you get the money, the income. Also, when you have rental properties, you can, you're renting them out, and that is money that you are making in your sleep because someone else is paying your mortgage. So you can absolutely not go wrong with real estate. And real estate has been one of the biggest earners since the beginning of time for people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have Shirley on with us today. She is a young investor, but I'm very impressed with, since did you start doing it before Morgan State or after you graduated?
After graduation.
Okay. So can I tell a little bit about your story? Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Okay. So Shirley is one of my daughter's best friends. They met in college. And I was amazed that Shirley had a 4.0 GPA, but she did not have a full ride to any school. So she busted out that 4.0 her first year at Morgan and then later got a scholarship. But it was important to me to help her. And so Raquel and I got on it to make sure that she was doing everything that she could to find some money. Because when I tell you, I was like, what do you mean you didn't have a full ride? Like, you have a 4.0, like she's brilliant. And so when Shirley graduated, she got into investing. So you want to talk a little bit about what you are doing now to build extra income while you're working full time and still working on her graduate degree as well?
Yes, ma'am. So after I graduated, someone that I had met at Morgan kind of told me about the foreign exchange market and how, it's this 24/7 market. You can make money in your sleep. You can do it really quick, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, well, I'm all about making money. And after I graduated, my dad was like, look, you got a big girl job now. You got big girl money, but you don't got big girl bills. So it's got to do something. The money has to go somewhere. And he was like, you can't work your way into wealth. You got to invest it, or you got to make that money do something for you. And like my dad was just on my back. And I'm like, okay, let me give it a try. Let me just see what's going on. And the flexibility of it is what kind of drew me to the foreign exchange market to start, because it was something where like I could start with $100. I could start with $50 and I could kind of make that 50 go to 200. And if you can flip $100 into $1,000, you can make $1,000 do something else. So that was kind of how I started. And then my dad was like, look, you're getting a stimulus check. You're still at home. You need to start an E-Trade account or a Robinhood account, or you need to do something that's going to build money for a long time without you even having to touch it. So that's kind of how I shifted more into the stock market. And I think with everything from COVID last March being down and stuff kind of rising pretty quickly by the time I invested, because I started investing in April. And by the time July and August came around, I was like, oh, hold on. I was like, Forex is great and it's fast and I can make bits and pieces, but the stock market was going crazy. So that was how I got my dad. He was just in my ear over and over and over again. So I was like, all right, I'm listening to some people, read some books, figure some things out, but I had to do something.
Good. I'm so proud of you. So I'm gonna flip back to Coach K real quick, because I really do want to talk a little bit about cryptocurrency. So there's a lot of hesitancy for people to invest in cryptocurrency, although everything is showing that it is the wave of the future. Businesses are moving all of their platforms onto the blockchain because it's the safest, most secure way for transactions to be held, and that they are, they are never deleted. So can you tell us and talk to us a little bit about cryptocurrency and what your draw was to that, Coach K?
My main draw was just to understand. Once I understood kind of what blockchain was, and I look at blockchain like this is blockchain, and then this is cryptocurrency on top of blockchain, right? And once I understood that blockchain was like a super highway, and it was going to be kind of the internet 2.0, kind of evolve into that, I said, okay, what's this thing, and then what goes with this thing? And then that's what brought me to cryptocurrency and brought me to Bitcoin and all these other things. And one day I was training a client in out of town, and CNBC was on, Squawk Box was on the TV, and it said China says no to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was $6,000, and China said no to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dropped to $3,000. And I said, wow, like how could something drop literally that fast? But then in my mind, I said, okay, if it dropped that fast, 9 to the 10 is probably going to go back up. So I hurried up and I went to my phone. I said, how do I buy Bitcoin? Like literally, I just said, how do I buy Bitcoin? And Coinbase came up, and I like in between a client, I hurried up, made an account, and I bought $1,500 worth of Bitcoin. And before I knew it, Bitcoin went up to 45. And then back to 6,000, then 8,000. I was like, what is this thing? And it just kept on going. It was like 8,000, 10,000, 12,000. And before you know it, it was at $19,000. And I was like, what, like, oh, how does this happen, right? So that's what kind of got me into cryptocurrency. And then once I kind of knew about Bitcoin, and then I started learning about other cryptocurrencies in the meantime. So I learned about Ethereum, which is kind of a platform coin, right? Where you can build on top of this coin, and then you can take that coin with what you built and put that on the blockchain, right? And then now you can run your business on the blockchain. So it's to me, it's a one-stop shop of Internet 2.0, the next level, the future. As we know it now, it will change. And then on that platform or on that superhighway, you need money. You need money to transact, and that's where the cryptocurrency comes in. And each platform, or each how can I say, not necessarily platform, but each project that's built on top of an Ethereum coin or a Cardano coin, which is another platform coin. These coins, these projects get put on the blockchain. Mm-hmm. They have their income streams, right? And you're able to pay someone by using their platform, by using their coin. So those coins can start as low as, $1,500. Those coins can start as low as cents. I bought a coin, a Cardano, which is another platform coin, like an Ethereum. Ethereum. When I first got into Ethereum, it was $290. Now, when Bitcoin went up, it went all the way up to $4,000, and then it came back, going back up to $2,000. Cardano was a coin that I bought, and it was just something about this coin that I liked, because everything it was talking about is what's happening as we speak right now. Like it was like so far ahead. I was like, okay, if all what they're saying in this coin happens, this thing is going to blow up. So I bought this coin at 3 cents.
You made all of us buy it.
Remember? I was telling everybody, I was like, buy this, buy it. And I bought this coin at 3 cents, and the other day it hit $1.50, and then it pulled back a little bit, and then it looked like it's gonna go back up. So I tell people, buying these coins at pennies now, just imagine those people who bought Bitcoin in 2009 to 2010 when it was pennies, or was fractions of pennies. And then fast forward to now, Bitcoin hit $50,000 and pulled back. Then it went up to $58,000 and it pulled back. And then they're saying by the end of this year, it could get to $100,000. So imagine those people that bought Bitcoin at pennies, or imagine those people that bought Cardano at pennies like me, or Ethereum in the 200s. And now they're talking about it could get to $40,000, $50,000. Bitcoin could get to $100,000, $200,000. So I just look at it as a way of being ahead of the curve and understanding that here's an opportunity that we have, and you have to seize that opportunity, and you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to, as you said, scare money doesn't make money. Mm-hmm. People will go out and they will gamble. They will buy lottery tickets. They will buy. They won't invest in the stock market. They won't invest in Forex, or even try to understand what Forex is about. They won't look at real estate, as Kevin said. They won't look at things that, I don't know, to me this makes sense, but I guess to them it doesn't. Because I guess everybody wants that fast money, and not all money's fast. It's just not fast. Like sometimes you have to work. You have to work at it. You have to master it, and then you get better. Like Shirley did. She said, "Okay, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to take this little bit of money, and I'm going to turn it into this, and I'm going to turn it into that." And before you know it, she had a plan. She's like, "I'm going to take 100. I'm going to take that 50, turn it to 100 into this." And that's how I look at money also. It's like, whether it's the stock market, whether it's cryptocurrency, it's all about giving yourself a goal and saying, this is the amount of money that I want to make per day. Some people it's $100, some people it's $200, some people it's $500. Just imagine if you make that every day, 5 days a week. Her market never closes. The stock market does. Cryptocurrency, so I can always make money there. But it's all about having that mindset about making money with your money. Your money is working for you in many different ways. That's kind of my little.
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
You always educate yourself. You always have to educate yourself.
Yes, very much so.
And always, and I like what you said, that your money has to be like little people making more money for you. I love that saying. Tell us about I love this story. One day, Coach K, I don't know what time you sent it, like in the middle of the night. He sends a screenshot. Look, was it like $29 million?
Yeah, it was like some crazy out of money.
Yeah, and, so go ahead. I'll let you tell the story.
Because the crypto market is so, it's literally so crazy. It fluctuates so quick and so fast. And what I equated to in Forex is like when markets cross over. So when China comes in, and you know what I'm talking about, right? And you know, the UK comes in, like this is the best time to trade. But that overlap is when you're getting all these people at one time. So I was in trying to trade this coin, and it was like a penny coin. It was called Ken coin, and it was like, I don't know, penny, like less than a penny. And I kept playing with it, and then all of a sudden, I had like I think I had like 10 million coins. It was like nothingness. Then all of a sudden, that coin just shot up, and I said it went from like zero cents to like $200. I was like, what is this? And it happened so fast that I couldn't trade it, but I could just snapshot it. But what I found, it would always happen like at these crazy amount of time, like 1 o'clock in the morning, and call me crazy. I'm up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to figure out how I can trade this, but it's literally they're coming in so fast. And what we found out were, that's when like China and these whales were coming in, and they were just flipping. They would come in and they would just, it's like a flash thing. They would just come in, come right out, come in, come right out. And if you weren't like hand on the trigger ready to hit it, you would lose it. And sometimes I caught a little something here, or I caught some there, but I never caught like the 29. I wish I had caught the 29 million up, but I was able to snapshot it. And I sent it to Renay. I sent it to my friends. They were like, what are you?
Well, like, sell. He's like, I can't.
I had to explain the story. They were like, yo, like that says $29 million. I was like, yeah. And I only got 10,000 of it. I only got 10,000 of it. You know, but I never could catch, because I'm telling you, they were like ninjas. They were like in and out like assassins. And they were so quick and so fast. And it was like 30 seconds in, 30 seconds out. You know, 45 seconds in, 45 seconds out. And it was like, you had to like know. You had to know, but I didn't know when it was going to happen. I didn't know when it was going to start. I know when it was going to end. I was trying to guess. Couldn't do it. So make a long story short, that was one of my craziest stories, like with like trading and like wow, like this thing is massive. Like this, just imagine, you know, years down the road when these coins jump up to $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, you know, and they're pennies now, right? People are millionaires, instant millionaires.
Yes.
Like literally instant millionaires. You know, you have 10,000, 20,000 of a coin, and then it costs you, let's say it costs you $1,000 to buy a couple of coins at a penny, like 3 cents. Let's say 3 cents. That's 33,000 coins, right? 33,000, whatever, 33,303 coins, right? And it shoots up to $5, $10, $20. Just do the math. So that's how Bitcoin started. And people have Bitcoin like that. Like they have 10,000, 15,000. They have a lot of Bitcoin. Some people lost Bitcoin. Some people sold Bitcoin. So I always tell people, like, it's better to be in than on the outside saying, man, you know what? I should have back then, you know, I should have did that thing. You know?
Well, the other thing too is every major company, they're going to end up creating their own coins. They already have.
And that's the other thing that's happening too. Yeah, that is the other thing that's happening. But what I will tell people is this: just be aware that all coins aren't created equal. All projects are not created equal. You have to look at the cryptocurrencies that are platform coins. They're DeFi coins, meaning they're decentralized coins. So the banks are going to eventually, they're going to switch over to cryptocurrency. And when they do, because of fraud and not being able to move things around, or having that blockchain is a constant ledger, right? That constant ledger has every transaction that will happen on that blockchain. So if it's this year, 10 years from now, I can still go back and say, I did this transaction on said day and it can't be changed. So what you're going to find is a lot of these companies, the JP Morgans, the Bank of Americas, they're going to switch their platforms onto this blockchain, right? Or they're going to create their own blockchains, and then they're going to have their own coin. But the number one coin, reign supreme, is Bitcoin. It's number one. It will always be number one. It's the granddaddy. It's digital gold.
Yeah.
It's just imagine those people who have a lot of gold now. You can't carry gold with you, right? Mm-hmm. But if it's digital, if it's on here, you can use it any kind of way you want to. So that's the next step of Bitcoin. Bitcoin eventually, I feel, and I think a lot of people will say this if they're really in the space, that Bitcoin is a $10 trillion market. Bitcoin just hit 1 trillion at $53,000, and they're saying it's going to continue to rise. So I think as Bitcoin rises, gold will start to come down, right? Mm-hmm. Bitcoin will go up and gold will come down. Eventually they will do like this, and I think Bitcoin will pass. And when Bitcoin passes, I think a lot of people are going to say, I'm going to jump over. But what if you're already in now? Right? What if you're already in now when it's 1 trillion? Just imagine when it's 5 trillion, what Bitcoin will be worth, or any one of those coins that I say, whether it's a DeFi coin or a platform coin like a Polkadot or an Ethereum or a Cardano. If you're on one of those coins now and you have a significant amount of them, when the market cap, overall market cap goes up, you make money. So that's my thing.
So, and I just wanted to add to that. I forgot my train of thought that fast. We have a question. So Tiffany asked, what site do you use? So she's asking about the trading. Tiff, are you asking about the trading platforms for trading cryptocurrency? You want to show them your phone, Coach K?
I can just tell them I use Binance USA. I use Coinbase, but I also use the Coinbase Pro, which is kind of their back office where you can go in and trade your coins. Like you can put your Bitcoin or your Ethereum on there. You can trade it day to day. Like I have a certain amount of Ethereum and I buy it here and it goes up and I sell and I get more Ethereum. So there's many different ways. But your main objective is you want to find an exchange that's reputable and won't steal your money, because there's a lot of scams in these projects, right? And you just have to be careful. If anyone ever asks, send me some of this or send me some of that, don't do it. Or give me don't do it. Because at no time should anyone be asking you for keys or donations or any of that nature, because what they're trying to do is trying to fish, and then eventually they can snatch your stuff from you. So you just want to be very careful with how you trade and what platforms you trade on. Make sure they're reputable. Make sure they've been around. Binance is one. Kraken is another one. The Winklevoss twins, they have Grayscale. So there's a couple reputable ones out there that you can trade on, or you can just buy and hold. Literally just buy and hold. And with the ones that I buy and hold, I put them in my it's not here right now. I have a cold storage wallet, and I take all my crypto that I don't want to trade and I put it on my cold storage wallet. And it's like a vault, a small. It's like a what's the thing called that you put in the Yes, it's like one of those. I put all my crypto in there that I don't want to trade, and that's kind of like my rainy day in case something happens. I can always reach for something. That's kind of my go-to. So
make sure if you're using one of those that you hold on to that, because if you lose it, you'll never get it back.
You never get it back. Yes,
never get it back.
You never get it back.
There's like billions of accounted for money in the crypto market because people have lost either their key or their vault. You cannot lose your key. Like, hold on to that. Like, it is a part of an appendage on your body.
Yep. It should be in a safe. It should be in a safe place.
Yes.
It shouldn't get wet. You should laminate it and you should put it in the safe just like it's money. Your keys are as golden, as good as money. So once you get those keys, and these keys are pretty much like a series of numbers or a series of
it's numbers and letters.
And you write them all down. And it's usually about 25, 26 words that you have to hold. And when it asks, you have to put those words in, like each one, all the way down to be able to get into your because it's a line of security. It's really like a line of security. So those things, you should never lay them down, put it down so somebody can take a picture of it or anything of that nature. Guard that like it's money.
Yep. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I was reading, I don't remember what country it was, but they are now accepting crypto as an official form of payment. I don't remember which country it was, though.
So right now, Ethiopia looks like they're going to go onto the Cardano, the coin that I told you at 3 cents. It looks like they're going to take Cardano as their currency, and also they're going to use Cardano's blockchain.
Okay.
My country of Sierra Leone was the first country in 2018 to do a election on the blockchain. And because a lot of third world countries, there's a lot of fraud and a lot of manipulation. So what they said is, we're going to use blockchain, and you vote, and it can't be changed. No one can force you. No one can coerce you. You vote, it goes on the blockchain. We collect, and that's it. As opposed to people coming in and dropping their fingers and dropping their vote in the box, and someone could try to intimidate you and say, "Hey, you can't do that," or so on and so forth. So that's the future as we know it. Like with all the fraud that's going on and all the voters fraud and all that, America, I don't feel the next best thing they need to be doing is going towards blockchain, because it will take care of all the nonsense. You can't lie, you can't cheat, you can't steal, you can't do any of that. Once it goes on there, it's on there. Who wins is who wins. Done. And it can't be changed.
Yeah, that's the beauty of blockchain. So I want to transition a little bit back to Kevin.
Yes.
So Kevin, let's say someone wants to get into real estate investing. Could you walk us through a scenario? Let's say they're buying their first, we'll start with an investment property. So they're going to buy it, they're going to hold on to it. Let's talk about a couple of your, what do you think are some best tips that you would give, advice you would give?
The best tip I would say, go in with an exit strategy. So best one is like buy and hold. Okay, so how are you going to finance this property? So, is it going to be, are you going to get a lender? Are you going to be a private lender? Are you going to do it finance out of your 501k? Your 401k. So you need to have your strategy when you go in. What neighborhood are you looking to buy? Me personally, I like to look around schools. So if you're going to market to, we saying buy and hold.
Yes, buy and hold.
Okay, so I like to look around schools. If there's a nice school in the area, so then I can market it to a family, and then I know I can get a nice family in there, school-age children. That means they're going to be in there for the long haul, and they're going to take care of my property because they want to be near the school. They can watch the kids walk across the street, or they walk the kids to school. So you need to have that kind of strategy in there, and the key to it is you need to get the right tenant in there. From the start. So you need to do your due diligence. You need to do your homework. You need to make sure that you do not all money is good money. So you need to make sure you investigate the tenant on the way in, so make sure they're the right fit for your property.
Because a lot of people think, I'll just buy this property, I'll do a Section 8 on it, and it is money coming in every single month. Yeah. But you also have to, like you said, you got to think about what is that tenant.
But if there's rules,
house up, and every time that they leave, you got to redo your house. So go ahead.
But it's rules to Section 8, so you need to know the county rules, the city rules in Section 8, because you just can't say, oh, I'm just go grab this property and put it to Section 8. Well, your house has to pass Section 8 codes. So, and which those codes are real stringent. So once you get on that list, you're fine, but your house has to maintain the Section 8 rules. So, and me personally, I love Section 8. See, most people are scared of Section 8, but I love Section 8 because that's guaranteed income.
Yep.
But you also have to stay on top of Section 8, because if you don't stay on top of Section 8 and you get kicked off of Section 8, that it's harder for you to get back on Section 8. So you need to just stay on top of it and stay on top of your property. So, as a landlord, it's easy money, but you also have to stay on top of your property. You want to make sure that, like Coach K say, you need to make your money work for you, but you also have to, just be mindful, and it should, and the house should actually run itself. With COVID, I didn't have to worry about my properties.
Nope.
They ran themselves. I would check in every so often, make sure the tenant was fine, but the checks came in monthly. Everybody was happy. I was happy. Everybody was good. So we just kept moving.
So is it Anissa? Aeneas? Javon, she said, oops, wait. No, I'm sorry. Jennifer said, can you check credit reports for Section 8 applicants?
You can. You can have a friend check it. I normally look for, you do a case search, and I look for, basically look and see if they have any, I'm looking for the word, basically see if they have any judgments against them. So if they have any judgments against them for rent issues, but the good thing is Section 8, they have a checklist that they need to get on Section 8. So they pretty much do some of the homework for you. You still need to do the work, but they do some of the homework for you. So if they on the Section 8 list, that's part of the work that's done for you, but you still need to do your due diligence.
Okay. Nicole asked, how do you deal with people who pretty much, like, if they vandalize or destroy part of your property? And let's be clear, that's a risk you're going to take no matter whether you're renting through Section 8 or if you're renting, on your own.
Exactly. But as hard as it is to get one of those vouchers, the likelihood of them risking getting kicked off the Section 8 program, because some of the people that are on Section 8 are on Section 8 for a year or two before they get allowed to get a voucher. So the likelihood of them damaging your property and getting kicked out of the Section 8 program is slim to none. You have a better chance of getting your property damaged by someone who's not on the Section 8 program, because that follows them through the program. So they cannot damage your property and then move to another Section 8 property and get in. So that, I'm not saying it does not happen, but that's slim to none. So I would not worry about that. But also, if they do damage your property, or if they do not pay the rent, the good thing about Section 8 is you will still get your month rent. You'll still get your rent from the state or the county while you're going through the eviction process, because the county is still paying you.
Now, does the county reimburse you for any damages?
Well, you get I never had this problem, so I can't really speak on it. But from the stories I have heard, you still get the security deposit. So, and I'm pretty sure you get you can then take them to court and sue them. Okay.
Which is the same process for if you own properties that are not managed through Section 8.
Yes, and the good thing is that with that situation and that scenario, the good thing is, by you going through the Section 8 process, your house was inspected by Section 8. So you have proof that your house was this standard moving in. And then now you take your pictures, and that's why you should always, when you moving in, when a tenant moving in, you should have them sign or do a checklist and them signing off that say, hey, this house was acceptable when I moved in. And then when they move out, go through with a video always take like a newspaper so you can take a picture of the date timestamp, and you can do like I said, you're gonna hear me say this a lot. Do your due diligence so you can show that on this date, March 7th, this was the condition of the house, of how they left it. And then you can show your Section 8 move-in of how it looked when they moved in, and then you can show that will be your evidence when you go to court.
Yeah, and you can also, like, I have a clause in all my lease agreements about, certain damages that they're responsible for. Regular wear and tear is very different than, other types of damages. So also make sure that not just the video, but you have it in a legal binding document that they're signing.
Yes.
So any other questions about real estate? Do we want to talk about flipping a property real quick?
I want to ask a question.
Or any questions? Okay, go ahead.
Shirley, I want to know a little bit more about Forex. Like, I mean, I know about exchanges because of currency and so on and so forth. But like, what is your favorite pair? What is your favorite pair of trading when it comes to Forex? Do you have a pair?
My favorite pair. I would think USD JPY, the US dollar versus the Japanese yen.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because time pair around like 5-6 o'clock PM, it starts moving a lot. It's more volatile. It's easier structure wise. It follows structure very well. Because I think all pairs follow a pattern. And not to be too technical, but the way charts look when there's open spaces, there's going to be a drawback. Charts don't like open spaces. So if USD JPY has been going up all day about 5-6 o'clock, there's going to be some pullback. So I want to be in for a sell. Things like that. It's just easier for me to look at. As of recently, I have switched over to high frequency Forex, which is like quick binary options trading. So 3-minute trades, 2-minute trades, get my money, get out. That's more of my thing now. But when it comes to regular foreign exchange pairs, I think USD JPY is definitely structurally just easier for me to understand on a 15-minute chart basis.
And with your Forex, it's actually you going in and opening up an account and trading Forex. You're not doing it like through any other, like, because I know there's MLMs and all kinds of other things. You're actually trading. Yeah, you're doing your own trading.
With IML, I did the IM Academy for Forex for about a year. I learned as much as I could. I did the marketing. I had people join under me and things like that. I still am with them, but more for the high frequency Forex. But I'm not doing Forex with them anymore. I kind of do that on my own time because it's like once you learn the structures, once you learn the pairs, once you know what you like, I can do it on my own time. Yeah, I can do it.
You fish for yourself then.
Yeah.
No, because that's another thing that I like. I try to tell a lot of people that always ask me about trading and like, well, how do you do it? How do you do it? And I'm like, your whole objective is to try to gather the information, acquire it. Like YouTube University is free. I think everybody knows YouTube University is free. Now you can get on there and you can like, what is trading? What is Forex? What is cryptocurrency? What is Bitcoin? What is blockchain? How do I trade? What are the best platforms to use to trade? What's a good way to wholesale invest? There's many different ways, right, Kevin? There's many different ways to go about all of the things that we do, right? And why you chose us to be here is all we did was take the knowledge and we executed, right? We took the information and we said, how can I use this information to be able to make my situation better, right? How can I fish for myself, right? And then in tune, I could teach my kids how to fish for themselves, and my friends and people in my community how to fish for themselves. Because to me, that's how we empower ourselves. That's how we empower our people, right? That's how we create and build generational wealth. Because acquiring the wealth is cool, but people have lost wealth, right? So we have to acquire it, we have to keep it, and then we have to keep adding on to it. But we have to make sure that the people that come behind us, right, know the struggle and also know what it takes to keep it and continue to add on to it so they can pass it on to the next generation. So that's where really generational wealth. And the cool thing about all of us is we all have our lane, right? We all have your Forex, your housing. I mean, you're just a hell of a all around person, Renay. I mean, you kind of this and that. And the thing I love about Renay is she's not afraid to try things, right? And she'll call you and say, you know what, I thought about this, and I'm like, well, let's do it, you know. And I love that because so many people are afraid to take that step, and we all took the step, right? To do something, and then be able to do something for ourselves and be able to pass it on to someone else. So,
absolutely. No, I think that's the biggest thing is not being afraid to at least just take the first step and try. And you know, if you're afraid of losing money, put aside, you know, what's my limit? I'm willing to invest this much and I'm okay if I lose it, you know, but what happens if you win? What happens if you make money? You know, look at that. So there was a question, it's a couple questions actually I want to go through real quick. Charles asked, what's the income limit for folks that you can allow to stay in Section 8 properties?
Now, I don't know the actual income limit. That depends on the state in the area that they're in. I just know, depending on the area, there's a limit for which you can rent your house for. Yes. So if you're, for example, in Baltimore City in this certain area, the max you can rent your house for example, is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. The max you can go for is $1,700. That's the max you can go. But the back in Section 8, I don't know the formula that say that this person can only make this amount of money. I don't know that specifics of the program.
Okay.
I have a Section 8 property that I rented out. And like I said, most of that is all done through Section 8, and then they come to you with the voucher. And like Kevin says, doing your due diligence is very, very important. My last tenant was a military veteran. I'm a military veteran, so I said, okay, I'm going to rent to another military vet because I know he's going to take care of my property, you know. And he took care of my property. He was there for 11 years, and the only reason why he had to move is because his kids got bigger and they had to move to another school district. So I said, okay, fixed up the house, do what I need to do, and then I put another person in there with Section 8, and I did my due diligence with that also. I, you know, got their references. I called their references. They brought pay stubs. And you have to do these things because you want to know who's going in your house. You want to know that this person's going to, you know, because some Section 8, the Section 8 pays for everything. Some Section 8 vouchers, they pay a portion, and the person pays a portion. But when it comes to all the paperwork and all that, that's Section 8, and then they come to you with the voucher and they say, "This is my voucher," and go from there. So that's kind of I'm not an expert. This is my take and my experience with Section 8.
All right. Shirley, someone asked, what does it take to be a successful Forex trader?
I think because of my stumbles in the beginning, I think just being patient with yourself. I think I'm a person that I like to go into things and I like to master it as quickly as possible and start making money as quickly as possible. So when, like, I didn't stumble on USD JPY my first day, not even my first month or first 6 months that I was doing it. I was jumping all over, trying different things, trying to figure out, pulling from different strategies. And I think once I found a strategy that worked for me, then I found a pair that worked with that strategy. Then I did that over and over and over again. And, like, you know, everything doesn't have to be a $50 trade. I could go in with $1. Okay, I won. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I did it again. Okay, I won. Okay, I can do $5 now. And then I started building on that. So I think you have to be very patient. There's very few people that I've introduced to the opportunity and they come in and they're like, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And I know exactly what I'm doing from day one. There's a lot of people that come in and they change and they flop back and forth. And I think you just have to be very patient. And then once your accuracy is 75, 80%, then you know, you can put in $100, you can put in $200, you can put in $1,000. You can start putting different margins for your money when you're patient to start off. I think if you are like, I'm gonna give this 6 months and I'm out, I don't know too many people that have mastered anything in 6 months and have been in and out and made what they wanted to make in that 6 months.
I think the key thing that Shirley said was stumbling and not being afraid to fail. Because I know at real estate, I had this one tenant. I call her professional tenant, and she ate my lunch. I mean, she ate my lunch so bad that I was impressed. She knew out of fiction, and when I went to court, in court a couple times, I sat in awe and just looked at her, and I couldn't do nothing about her, and because I showed up on the property, I think 2 times with the sheriff, and sure enough, she paid me there, and I had to take the money. And then she forced me to go back and do research. She forced me as the landlord to go back and do research. And I found that she was using every loophole. So she made me a better landlord. So I'm saying it to say, whatever your craft be, you cannot be afraid to stumble. You cannot be afraid to fail, because it will make you stronger.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
And I think Shirley brought up another great point is, like she said, it's okay to invest, $1, $5. Raquel, that's what Raquel does. My daughter, she's investing as well, but she's starting small with her money because I'm not letting her play with my money. So we were talking about, what was it, GameStop. And she's like, oh, yeah, I did. I got a little bit. I was like, yeah, I got in and got out. I made, I made about $4,000 that day. But I literally bought in the morning, sold at night. She's like, yeah, I made a little money too, but it wasn't like that, mommy. But I am glad that she took that chance, whether it was, I didn't ask her how much it was, whether it was, $10, $5, $2, at least like Shirley said, you're learning, you're understanding, so that, as you go along, the same with, real estate. I don't recommend going out buying $1 million house that you plan to flip, and fix up and sell for 2.5 million. I don't recommend that. Start with something small, work your way up, learn the craft, and then go out and say, okay, I can now go afford to do this $300,000 house or $500,000, whatever it is. The same, with rental properties, it's nice to be able to pay cash for your rental income, your rental properties, because everything that's coming in is all income. So just learning little strategies like that along the way also helps. Let me see. Was there another question?
Yeah.
Someone was just saying that active duty worked well for them. So I wanted to quickly talk about, we're coming up on the 8 o'clock hour, couple things. So most people know that I do business consulting. And what I really help people do is, if you have an idea, a thought of a business that you want to do, I really help you manifest that into an actual business. I have literally named companies, built people's products. And sometimes I'm like, well, shoot, that's my business now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what I do. I show you how to create your income streams with your organizations. And, if you're stumbling, how to take it to the next level. And, we talked about earlier, Coach K, about how you pivoted during COVID, understanding when and how to pivot. I used to own a daycare facility. And, I just lucked up in the sense of, someone came in on the right day at the right time, and I was super tired, and I sold. But I sold at a great time. Kevin said something earlier about people always need a roof over their head. When I was looking at building another company, I was like, well, people are always having babies, so people always need daycares. I sold literally right before the market crashed and people were losing jobs, because I could have been in a situation where I didn't have any children in the daycare facility. And I'll be honest, I didn't have an exit strategy, because I was younger. In my mind, people always need daycare. People are always having babies. So lessons learned. I can teach people how to do that now, knowing the difference. But it's very important to understand how to pivot, whether you're building up or you need to build down. So we'll talk about real quick, Coach K, in your instance, you took your brick and mortar gym and you said, you know what, it's COVID, people aren't coming right now. Let me move it into my home. I can manage, if I'm allowing someone to come in, but most importantly, you pivoted and you set up a virtual business. So you didn't skip a beat. So understanding that. I also want to offer to everyone today, we've got a couple classes. You can visit Linktree/Renay Butler. We've got some specials. Coach K and I are going to teach 3 classes on cryptocurrency, $49 a piece, or if you want to do the bundle, it is $119. Kevin and I are going to do an introduction to real estate 101, $49. We'll also have a 202, 303, and 404 coming soon for you guys who are interested in real estate investments. But you can visit my website, renaybutler.com, or you can visit my Linktree. I have all my classes there. If you are looking for a business coach, I am absolutely available to assist you. Shirley, if you're interested in teaching a Forex class, let me know. We will get that together for you. I'm not sure if people are interested in Forex and learning how to do Forex. I think that you would be a great teacher. Perfect. Yes. What I love about my tribe, and I want to do a talk about building your tribe. What I love about my tribe is everyone is willing to share. Everyone is willing to share knowledge. Everyone is willing to help the next person, achieve their goals, and help the next person increase their income, and, help the next person, especially if you've got a family, show your family how to build generational wealth. I always believe that sharing knowledge is wonderful. There's enough money out here for all of us to win. So you don't have to hold on to what you think is, this diamond. I mean, granted, that's why I think people trademark certain things. So if there is something that is super special, there are patents and trademarks and things that you can do so that you're earning money off of somebody else doing what you believe you've invented. So that's the one thing I love about the people that I typically associate with. Any final parting words? We are coming up on the 8 o'clock hour before we close out. Any other questions from anyone on the line?
And I guess I just want to say, with all what we do is, I'll just kind of piggyback on what you said. You just can't be afraid to share knowledge, but you also can't be afraid to execute, right? Like at the end of the day, there's a term that I learned when I first started trading stocks. And a lot of people, they gather information, and they gather so much information, and they don't execute. So it's called analysis to paralysis.
Yes.
You analyze so much, and you analyze so much to the point where you don't take off, you don't execute, you don't use any of the information. It's like, why did you do all that work and then not do nothing with it? So I tell people, like, sometimes just jumping in and then trying to learn along the way is even better than trying to gather all this information and then say, I'm going to execute at the end, right? It's kind of like learn as you go, right? And I think we all learned as we went. Like Kevin said, we just learn as we go, and you learn how to pivot. You learn how to, that one tenant made me a better landlord, because I had to really be on my P's and Q's. You lost, Shirley lost a couple times, and she said, okay, well, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work, but this works for me. And this strategy works for me. And this is what I'm going to go with. You have helped many businesses do what they needed to do to take themselves up to that another level, which I need you also. At the end of the day, I mean, I think just the bottom line is not to be afraid, right? Fear cannot be an option. It just can't be an option. You can't, if you want to be great and if you want to be better, you can't be fearful. You have to jump out there and want to be better and do better. And even if you stumble, you still learn from that, right? And then you learn next time to be better and do better and create a better strategy, right? So whether it's I'm trading on cryptocurrency, or I'm trading the stock market, or I'm doing options trading, or I'm training my clientele, at the end of the day, I want to give them the best I can give. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's all about giving them my best, right? Every time I show up, I want to give my best. And I think everyone's mindset, that's kind of the mindset you need to take with this. It's like, I want to be better for myself, but I want to be better for my family. And then I want to be better for my community. And I want to be kind of that driving force, or someone can say, well, he did it. He looked like me. Or she looked like me. I can do it too. So I think that's kind of what I wanted to kind of add, and kind of, I guess, add to the last bit of this. Is it's like, I commend you all, because you all took the opportunity, you found your lane and you went with it, and you didn't allow anybody to hold you back, and you didn't hold your own self back, right? That's the biggest thing. And I commend y'all all, because it's a hard thing to, like, you know, when you don't understand something and you have to go and get the information, right? And then you have to hopefully do something with that information, right? So I commend you all, definitely.
I wanted to say, I was doing some research. I don't remember what I was looking up, but there is actually, like, people are fearful of success. Yes. When you said analysis paralysis, I never thought that there was such a thing, but there is, that people are actually afraid to be successful. So that was interesting. So Kevin, any last minute thoughts for you?
Everything was pretty much said, but the only thing I had to add to it, there's no growth in the comfort zone. So you have to get out of your own way, and you just have to execute. Just have to execute.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shirley, what about you? Any final thoughts as the youngest one in the bunch, out here doing big things?
I guess to add on to not being, afraid to fail. I think being okay with walking away has definitely been something I've had to learn in the past year and a half. Everything is not for me. Yes. And if I'm going to be a millionaire and I need 7 streams, it doesn't mean the first 7 streams that I stumble across are going to be the ones that are going to be my forever. And I think I had a hard time holding on to things, thinking like I can make it work because I'm smart, I can do this. But I definitely think that sometimes it's like, you know what, this worked for y'all and that is cute, but I'm gonna find something that works for me. And I think I definitely had to learn that. It's okay. When you walk away, you can find something better. I always think every door that closes for a reason, and my revolving door is going to open me in a new place, and I'm going to be just fine. So
awesome.
Think
take profit, ladies and gentlemen. Take profit. Learn how to take profit.
Yeah. I had 2 other things I wanted to say. One is, when you said not being afraid to fail, in the IT cyber world, we say, fail fast. So if you're going to fail, get in, fail fast. But also look at failures as growing points. So don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as a lesson. And so I think that will help people as you move along and you take chances. Your wife says imposter syndrome is real. It is real. And, actually, I'll talk about that on another day. Maybe Ivory and I can do a talk together about imposter syndrome. Ivory, are you up for that? Let me know in the chat. Nicole says, finding a way that works for you is key. Yes, absolutely. And Nicole, you and I need to sit down and talk, because Nicole has an amazing talent that she needs to convert into another source of income for her, as well as for her daughter. She's got a daughter in college as well. And I think that Nicole could do really well, because there's so many different options. And for you, Nicole is an amazing seamstress. Even if it's teaching classes, people are out here making money doing, digital products and all kind of stuff. So Nicole, you need to get in my ear so that I can help come up with some things for you. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely, Ivory. We can do a live here, and we can do a clubhouse talk. So let's get to it. So again, before we close out for the night, we've got on sale today. We've got our cryptocurrency 3-part series. Each part is $49. If you buy all 3, it's $119. You can go to my website, or you can go to Linktree/Renay Butler. We've got on sale right now, Real Estate 101 with Kevin Warren and myself, $49. We'll build out some other packages later for you guys. So we are looking forward to sharing the wealth, sharing the knowledge, and I want everybody that's in my circle to be a millionaire. So let's do it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Until next Sunday, take care. I love you.
Thank you.